what are the losses a customer bear with a bad CMDB? Any example which you have seen in your uh, throughout experience?
I've seen two common themes, and I'm sure there are different journeys, but this is just my personal experience. The first common one is that a customer will come in and implement a product like discovery. So discovery combs or crawls through your entire infrastructure and populates your CMDB for you. So they'll say, okay, we're going to do a 3-month discovery project. They get everything into the CMDB and it's this huge success. Yay, we didn't even know we had certain pieces of infrastructure and now we do because discovery automatically found it for us. We weren't tracking it manually before. Once the project rolls off though and closes, sometimes they don't have a operational maintenance plan. So
Okay.
they'll submit a change request and not tie it to that data. Or they won't update the data to say this server is now taken offline and has been replaced by another one. And as soon as they get into that operational phase where they're not maintaining it, the trust is beginning to erode from the CMDB data because the more inaccurate it is, the less you can trust it, and therefore the less it will be used. A recent example this year was that exact situation. Discovery was successfully implemented. Everybody enjoyed the cake cutting. And then 3 months after we cut the cake, they came back and asked, saying, this data is terrible and out of date now, but they weren't maintaining it. So we then came back in. We had to regroom the data to get it back to as pristine as we could. And then while we were doing that, we also provided organizational change management to ensure that they knew how to maintain it moving forward. So the IT teams knew what their responsibilities were when it came to maintaining it. The process owners or the infrastructure IT owners knew what they were supposed to do and how to report and access the information they needed to make purchasing decisions. And I harp on the purchasing a lot, and I know there's a lot more to that role, but just want to make sure that they were managing everything and making that and getting the most value out of it that they could, because they were also going through an IT refresh phase. So
Okay.
yeah, that's
So,
the first journey. Sorry, the second one is that they don't understand or need to fully define processes. So a common one is that as soon as we're doing our CMDB journey, we need to know how long before a CI becomes stale. So if we're trying to discover it once a week, how many weeks have to go by before when we don't discover it and we consider it stale and then we take action? So these types of decisions have to be made because they're going to support that system of engagement piece and turn ServiceNow from that system of record into, okay, now something has happened in the system. I haven't seen this specific server for 3 months. Now I'm going to go in and retire it, or submit a change request and retire it, or follow all of their internal processes. And then once they've got that process digitized in ServiceNow, we then come in and look for automation opportunities. Maybe we auto retire it for specific ones.